Good morning, good morning, good morning. How we doing? This is my third time trying to do this. My first time my alarm went off and ruined it, and the second time my second alarm went off and totally interrupted it. Go ahead. All right. Well, I guess not. That guy just took a turn. You know, you gotta love people that just park their cars and just jump right out into the middle of the street. It's my absolute favorite time of the day. It happens in the morning when nobody's thinking straight. But oh well, what are you gonna do? Somebody do something. There we go. There we go. So it's a great day out, guys. So beautiful. The air is just, and it's just making cool noises when it passes by your ears. We'll go off on this tangent. Speaking of my ears, I've got a tunnel right there. You could probably see that. I get the most comments about that tunnel, and they're like, "Does that affect your hearing?" And you know, I tell them, well, a little bit, because now when you're talking, you know, your ears are shaped. So that's why elephants have very good hearing. They're shaped so you can, like, it funnels the sound into your ears. So what happens is now I can't hear as well from the front because the hole loses some of the sound. But I can hear better from the back because now the sound, I got a hole. It goes through and just right in. So I don't got to deal with that. So, you know, the shape of my ears, I've altered it a little bit. In ways, I've just balanced it out. And is that really losing? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it's pretty, I think it's good. So yeah, you know it's getting colder out, especially in Florida when it's kind of like a little chill in the air, but people are like wearing pants anyway. Like wearing pants, they got long sleeve sweaters and turtlenecks on, and it's like only 60 degrees. Because they can't handle it, they can't hang. You can't stand the cold, get out of the freezer. But it's not even a freezer though, like that's it. Like that's probably what it is. Well, we're gonna pick up Heather today. We didn't pick up Heather yesterday. She didn't work yesterday. I just want to build her up. I want to like mention it every day, like on the way to pick up Heather, and then one episode, we're just gonna unleash Heather on everybody. It's gonna be great. On to everybody. I'm talking about this. I don't think anybody's even watched this shit yet. I just talking to this basically for my own good, you know. But it's I enjoy it, so screw it, right? Getting on to 417 here. Here we go. See, I got the Sun Pass, so you can just drive past the tolls, and you know, the prepaid tolls. That's how Florida really makes their money, through tolls and police officers, tolls and police officers. You know, since taxes are kind of lower, they've got to make the money up some other way, so they just set up speed traps everywhere, because it's not like, because just take people's money. Why not? It doesn't matter that something doesn't have to be 20 miles an hour. It matters that we can, you know, kind of charge some people for it. My dad was a Philadelphia police officer. I'm gonna have to speed up here. This guy's kind of quick. You're gonna have to do something soon, because I'm not gonna be going any faster, Brosephine. Alright, so back on track. My dad was a Philadelphia police officer for years and years, which, you know, has shaped his worldview, and I do understand that. And I believe he was probably one of the good police, the good cops. I feel like I've given this story before. Oh well, we'll hear it again. It's not really a story, it's just my opinion. Like, now I've become so disenfranchised from just law enforcement, because especially down here, because depending on what part of basically the world you are, the police are going to exist in a different capacity. Either they're not going to have much power, or they'll have too much power, or they'll be used for something that it's like, all right, we're running out of money, so instead of balancing the budget and just figuring out a system and really a government that works, because I think that's where we're at. That's probably what the next, and you know, and instead of doing that, just have the police charge people and have them ticket people. And that's just what I just, you know, it makes me angry. And you know, I try to beat cops with logic sometimes, and it works because they're human beings. and you try to remind them that, you know, you're human beings. I was thinking of this last night. This is kind of funny, I guess. You know, do you think a cop has ever walked up to somebody's car to give him a ticket with the intention of ticketing him, but didn't because of the music he was listening to? Either the music or the talk show, maybe, more than likely. Talk show is probably a little bit more than likely, I think. Because when you relate to somebody on their, and by talk show I mean, you know, like usually one with a political view, something with a bias. Because when you can, you know, if you show somebody else that you share the same bias as me, okay, you're an asshole like I'm an asshole. All right, yeah, you're good to go. Not saying all political things are inherently biased. You know, I mean, it's hard to avoid bias when you're doing something like that, because you're talking about something that you absolutely have an opinion about. Because I want people to have an opinion about things, but I don't, you know, I just don't want them to, I don't know, it's, you know, it's a topic for another day. Kind of look at that back up. That's not good. I love looking at like the roads down below when you're up on the highway and seeing all the traffic backups over there. Seeing an accident from this position would be great. That'd be sweet. You know, I don't want the accidents to happen, but if an accident's gonna happen, regardless, yeah, I want to be there for it. I mean, you don't? Look, if bad shit's gonna happen, and you know, which is why if it bleeds, it leads. You know, if bad shit's gonna happen, yeah, I want to be there to see it, because everybody kind of wants to see we like catastrophes. I don't know what weird part of the human brain that's petting, you know? It's petting a weird part of the human brain, but it's keeping something at bay. I think it's probably keeping many people from losing their minds and snapping. It's you know, living vicariously, or not living vicariously specifically, but getting your destruction and demise by watching something else. It's interesting, which is, you know, why you got rubberneckers, you got people on the side of the road. People are curious by nature, I get that. Curiosity probably did kill the cat, but I want to say there's got to be at least one cat that curiosity probably got laid. Curiosity laid the cat. You know, I mean, in some context, that's got to be true. I'd like to think it's because of boredom. Because of boredom that so many great creative things have happened. You know, there's got to be a reason for boredom. It's there. It's an emotion. It exists. If it's there, it has to be for something. And that's another thing. Like everything that's in every emotion that we feel, everything that we do it for a reason, even if we don't know what it is. You know, we're causal beings. I don't, kind of an early video to be jumping into this shit. I don't believe in free will. You know, I've been a determinist for a little while now, and as I find with everybody else's worldview, when they view something, what they see around them, their mind is going to reinforce it somehow. Two people can look at the same thing, and they're both going to perceive it differently and get two separate things, and it's going to reinforce a different view, but it is going to reinforce something. So I feel like everything I've been seeing since believing in determinism is reinforcing it, because I start to look at the actions that I take, and I'm like, all right, well, I couldn't have done anything else. There's no reason for me to have done anything else. If there's no reason to do it, then you're either not going to do, or you will, but it's for some, you know, everybody's different, and that's really what it comes down to. That's why I love human beings, because each and every human being is like a snowflake. They're like some are really annoying snowflakes that fall in your collar and your boots, and some are really nice snowflakes that you make snow cones out of. That's kind of what people are like, you know. And I'm not saying I've killed people and made them into snow cones, but that does sound like it's a pretty cool idea, right? Brains are kind of shaped like snow cones if they're on depending on the size of the baby brains you'd probably have to use. All right, guys, we've reached the 10-minute mark, so we're gonna cut this. I'll see you all tomorrow. Later. I just want to keep talking, you know? Like, I don't want to cut it off at 10 minutes, because this is nice. But you know what? Screw it. I don't want this to get old, so I'll see you.